Hello, everyone. I'm so honored to be here today in this English course, and I still more because I am going to introduce a person who is going to be with us throughout this cycle. This is the fourth year of our bachelor for most of us here, and I still can't believe it, especially because we spent almost 2 years with the virtual mode. But it is what it is. COVID decided to look us up for a year and a half in our homes. Many people ask me how I have learned English. And I only think one thing. If you will know how many times I have committed terrible and horrific mistakes speaking English. And the most funny thing is that not only speaking, but also writing it. I have been wrong so many times. And I remembered that a couple of years ago when I decided to start studying the English language seriously, for me it was a really difficult thing to express myself. I was flooded with the immense fear and I was panicking each time I was going to speak in public, to the point that I used to cry every time I used to do it wrong, and that made me feel very bad, of course. It really was a very difficult thing for me. For example, I remember, let me tell you a story. Once in a class I had to go to the front of the class to talk about a subject that I no longer remember. But I remember that my pronunciation was very bad. I had no fluency, and that made my presentations never good enough. At that time, my teacher decided to record me, which of course made me even more nervous than I was already. And when I finished my presentation, my teacher approached me and said, I recorded you, but I recorded you with the purpose of being able to reproduce it again and again and again until you find each one of your mistakes. And then you come and tell me what the errors that you found. Besides that, I also remembered that he gave me also some words of encouragement that really made me feel good and supported. When I came to my house, I did such a task that my teacher had left me. I locked myself in my room and I watched the video again and again and again to find each one of my mistakes. And the more times I reproduce it, I remember that the more mistakes I filled with that presentation. And I was understanding the real purpose of that task that my teacher had left me. Since then, taking into account as well all the words of encouragement that my teacher had given me that day, I proposed to repeat the same presentation many times until I got like my best possible. So it was. It came to a point where I felt completely different with that presentation. And what I mean is that that day, thanks to the effort and practice that I put into the presentation, I managed to get the question of how you have learned English. But I knew perfectly well that it was also thanks my teacher. And in the different English languages, I'm sorry, the different English courses that I have taken, always, but always, there is something from each one of my teachers that make like an echo on me. And I remember that one of them also told me a thing that marked me a lot. And it was that Albert Einstein once said that in the middle of difficult lie opportunities. We all experience difficulties in our lives. However, what makes us different from others is how we deal with those difficulties. So now that I'm one of my last English courses, and most of us as well, there's one thing that I'm 100% sure, and is that the person that is in charge of giving us oral expression is going to leave something to each one of us. She will leave something in me that will mark me as much as the other teachers. And that's why I feel happy and motivated to bring this matter. And I am quite sure that the person that I will introduce next also sees the difficulties as opportunities. So, with you, Miss Andrea Merino, let's give it a loud and warm applause. Thank you so much.